So now this person has ambushed you with a blade. They have 5 to 7 thrusts every 5 seconds. And now your answer is to get your blade out and to get into a knife fight with them when they've ambushed you and they're controlling you with their lead arm. That's your best option. Or somebody has an impact weapon like a hammer or a baseball bat or a pipe. And your best option in that case is to bring out your blade. After that, it's going to be what? Multiple attackers. Okay, multiple attackers. That's cool. So you're faced with multiple attackers and you bring out your blade, right? Oh, cool. You just gave them justification to bring all their blades out too. Or whatever other force multipliers that they felt. So now you're going to fight everybody with your blade? Really? Okay. Oh, this person has a firearm and you're going to present your blade. Really? Because I promise you, I don't care how well skilled you are, I can give you a little bit of training when you're integrated with your hands and your firearm, and you're going to get shot in the face. Do you have any idea what that's going to do to you? I don't think you do. I think that you're stuck in a cognitive illusion, and you're doing a lot of mental gymnastics if you believe that's even close to being your best option. How about a tactical flashlight? How about that? That sounds like a pretty good option. That sounds like it'd be a pretty good option, right? Or better yet, okay. But I can be far more versatile with these. And if I'm at distance and I pull out that tactical flashlight, I can do an awful lot from there. I'm not talking about in extreme close quarters, right? I don't buy the whole thing that you're gonna have a tactical flashlight in your hand and you're gonna redirect and you fuck off with that. You're just not, it's not gonna happen.
You're gonna need distraction, right, with a light to distract from strobing.
There's an awful lot that you can do if you're at distance with a tactical flashlight, and if you have a weapon mounted light on your handgun, all the better, because now you have that additional force multiplier working well for you, even in a well-illuminated environment.
Yep. So, like, here's a principle that I have adopted and I teach when it comes to edged weapons. It is very simple. If I can touch you, I can cut you, and I can kill you. However, you can do the same to me because we're in that tactile range of hands-on and hands-on. Because, I mean, truly the fight is in grapple range. Combat starts at a distance, but we can shoot, maneuver, and communicate and lay down force and action that way. But the actual fight, when we look historically and it's just the way we look at humans in general, the actual human struggle is when we go hands-on. And that requires us to be in range of that absolute risk of all things. Because,
almost all violent encounters involve some type of scramble in the clinch.
Yep.
Almost all of them do. Now, somebody said how fast that we can draw, right? That's a whole nother conversation. I won't go down that rabbit hole right now. But that's assuming that the blade is presented at distance, and it's usually not. But even if I can create distance, if you want to close distance with your blade, if you're closing distance and my hits are not stopping you, which they may not, I can still blast you with that front kick.
Absolutely. And you can still get offline, change the trajectory.
Still get offline. I can still scoop and blade, or I can still scoop and parry. Right? And boom, there's a tremendous amount that I can do to truly integrate my combatives while my handgun is in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
I can contact shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
I can blast my muzzle into your face while I pull the trigger.
Yep.
Like, I think we have to get real about how this works.
Yep. And the thing that I run into, and I don't understand with the martial arts world and specifically like the FMA world, because I have a really strong background in FMA and there's a cultural connection, but the things I don't understand, because I come from combat sports and the military, is you get so many people that have dogma and rhetoric about how knives are used in warfare, when the fact is that's really not the case, how they're used in warfare. It's a last-ditch effort where they've ran out of ammunition, where they misunderstand how warfare is fought. Like, I get in trouble in this idea about if I'm using FMA in warfare, I'm wrong, because that means I'm fighting alone. I'm not utilizing my fire team. I'm not utilizing all combined forces, all the other pre-steps to make sure that I have a high opportunity to succeed, because fighting is not fair because fighting fair is a fallacy, because the intent to win the fight is I'm going to fight unfair towards my enemy. So if I'm using something that's going to give me the highest opportunity or a very high opportunity to fail, then why use it? So again, going back to, if I'm using FMA in warfare, I already failed, because the fact is I'm using the wrong tool at the wrong range in the wrong context. And the FMA community, certain sectors of it, some of the more dogma and rhetoric driven side of the community, gets so fixated on like the historical cultural connection to it, but not actually seeing how fighting is actually done or how violence has actually occurred in the modern context of, yeah, you may have the knife out, but the fact is that firearm at distance behind cover in an elevated position, you're just not going to win. So
I will say this, though. It is in my opinion, and I believe that the force science would support this, that the aggressor with the edged weapon has the advantage. If they keep their intent concealed in close, more people will survive gunshot wounds than they will edge weapon wounds.
Yep.
In a very significant percentage, actually. The firearm has far more advantages, however, in many ways. But yeah, it's all going to come down to the context. The context is going to dictate the strategy. But as long as we're honest with ourselves and we're honest with the public about what the limitations are for any force multiplier and what our own personal limitations are and what we do, and if we're doing it in a way where our intent is truly to preserve life and actually to prevent violent crime from even happening to begin with, right? Or like a lot of what we teach at IDS, we teach people how to not use their firearm, right? But if you have an IDS student who you decide that you want to impose violence upon, it's probably not going to go very well for you.